kind of reaching that point right now with Call of Duty where the games that I have during the day really dictate how well I think the stream went. Yesterday was a super frustrating day. I can't lie to you. Like getting on rank play and dealing with all the cheating was really, really annoying. Like I was sitting on the couch after I finished my stream and I was just thinking to myself, man, I am really afraid that Call of Duty is not going to fix some of these very simple issues to make the game better for everybody else. And it's going to make this game harder and harder to enjoy. Dude, I love Black Ops 6, man. I can't say it enough. I like Black Ops 6 substantially more than I like MW3. And there's just a couple small things, at least for competitive players, that if they were to just flip the switch and decide, all right, we're going to change all these things today, the game would be a lot more enjoyable. But yesterday was really hard just because we dealt with so many people lagging out lobbies. We dealt with cheaters like stream sniping, queue sniping. We dealt with a couple tough losses. Like yesterday was not very productive from an SR day. Like I would really love to make top 10 on the ranked top 250 leaderboard just to be on the first page, see my name on the first page. But I am, every day that I don't climb is every day I get further away from that goal. And yesterday I spent the majority of the day trying to get back the SR that I lost at the beginning of the stream. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again today. Trying to come in with a good attitude and not let the cheating and the games that don't go our way bog me down, but it's hard when you see that SR going backwards. I've spent like an arm's length away for many years away from Call of Duty, and like being back in the mix in MW3. I played a little bit of Verdansk when it was popular. I played a little bit of Blackout when it was popular, but I took like a long break from Call of Duty, like the franchise really being like immersed in it 24/7. And now that I'm back here again with MW3 and now Black Ops 6, it's hard to ignore a lot of glaring issues that we have with the game. Like, I really don't think that there's many changes that need to be made for Call of Duty to work the way that I want it to. But at the same time, I'm fearful that a lot of these things that we want changed and fixed just aren't going to happen. It does in a way feel like Call of Duty is just giving the community the middle finger. Like the way that Call of Duty is managed, it just doesn't feel like there is a group of folks at Activision or across the dev studios that are truly like tapped in with the game. It really does feel like Call of Duty makes the majority of their decisions, and those are influenced, the majority of the decisions are influenced by financial gain and not like the old GameStop catchphrase, power to the players. I feel like Call of Duty could win substantially compared to how they are perceived now just by making decisions for the players first rather than the dollars that they make. And listen, I'm not trying to like over here smell the roses and say that a company as big as Activision and a public company at that has earnings reports and many stockholders that they need to appease. I'm not saying that they should ignore the business and the bottom line completely, but I think they can do both at the same time. They can make the players happy and the shareholders happy by the money that they're making if they just cared a little bit more. I just think that the franchise itself has spanned across so many different teams and so many different individuals from all the dev studios and the publishing company of Activision that it feels like there's not like a consistent through point of who's managing the game itself. And I think it's a really big problem. Like, it's almost like they've created too big of a thing and it has become impossible to manage thoughtfully, carefully, and strategically. A lot of people, tell me not to like give in to negative comments or read negative comments and shit. Like, if I read a negative comment in the chat, I'll have like 3-4 people like trying to be my mental health coach. Like, why would you even respond to that? I'm like, bro, I know it might not be easy for some of you guys to understand why I react to certain comments in the chat because, it's just almost impossible to put yourself in other people's shoes. But I've been doing this internet shit for a long time. I used to be a lot more self-conscious when I was younger. I used to be a lot more easily. I would get riled up over comments, but you know, when you're on the internet for a long time, it's kind of like a muscle that you build. You don't really get affected by the negativity nearly as much as long as you approach the day the right way. And I think I'm there. I've just spent a long time in my career where I accomplished a lot from a competitive standpoint. And I think I always struggle with the fact that listen, bro, I know that it could sound dramatic when I talk about this shit. And I didn't mean to have like a real conversation about it just now, but here we are. One of my biggest pet peeves, or one of the biggest things that bother me about my career, is that I've been in competitive COD longer than most, longer than 99% of the players in the league, 99% longer than the majority of the people in the community, whether it's fans or people that work on the businesses, the games themselves. I've been here since the very beginning. And when I was a kid, before all this streaming shit popped up, I was a damn good player. And when the streaming shit blew up, I was even better than I was when I was younger. And I won a lot of tournaments. And I'm happy with what I accomplished. But people easily try to marginalize those accomplishments because I had really good teammates. But but to me, I'm like, I always thought that was the whole point, bro. Try to build the best team that you can. And people kind of discount those accomplishments, saying that, oh, anybody could have done it with those guys. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want me to do, bro? We got great teammates. We won events. What do you want me to do? And I feel like there's just been like this propaganda perpetuated that I wasn't good when I played. I'm like, dude, I wasn't the best player on every team that I played on, but I was a dog, bro. You don't win tournaments if three players are really good and one sucks. That's just not how it works. So, I don't know. Being a competitive person by nature, that's just a hard hump for me to get over. But what I will say in Black Ops 6 compared to MW3, I've been playing really good Call of Duty. And I've really enjoyed playing this game. And I feel like I'm a lot better at this game than I was with MW3. So that's a great positive, I think. Fuck, I did see the news about XDefiant, bro. I did see the news about XDefiant. XDefiant will be shutting down for anybody that didn't see. I saw a lot of people really excited about that, which I think is fundamentally insane. I've got a couple friends over at XDefiant. They obviously allowed me to do a couple sponsored streams. Put a little coin in my pocket to promote the game. I'm bummed that it's shutting down, man. I don't think it's easy to build a game. I don't think it's easy to take a game from start to where XDefiant actually finished. And I think the game was pretty fun in some regard or another, but the people that are like celebrating on the bodies of XDefiant, I think, are psychotic. You know, at the end of the day, us as players, we want games like that to succeed so that Call of Duty can't be comfortable just bullying the community into dealing with the shit that they make us deal with every year and the problems that we have with the game. It would be a good thing if XDefiant would have been more successful. But ultimately, it sounds like the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. The people playing the game and the dollars spending on the game just weren't enough to keep the servers running. So it's a bummer, man. I think that they put something together that was pretty special. I don't think it was incredibly unique just because it was trying to fill the gap of like another arcade shooter, but rest in peace, man. I mean, it just goes to show you that no matter how hard people try, it's really hard to replicate the net code and not necessarily the net code, but just the way that Call of Duty responds when you input with your controller, keyboard, mouse, and the way it feels to get a kill in Call of Duty. When do the servers shut down? I think it shuts down in like June of 2025. And why are they shutting it down? I think it's probably just too expensive to operate, manage, and run the game. And they're probably just losing too much money. Anytime a project like that shuts down, they're just burning too much cash. And they're not making enough to offset the costs.